Good morning. Hi. What do I even say? I don't know. Hi, my name is Jess. And today I wanted to do something really chill. I can't do anything outside because there's a pandemic and wildfires now that like our air quality is so bad. Let me see what it is. 186. Okay, so it's getting a little better, but it is considered unhealthy. I personally do have asthma as well, so yeah, that's not great. I think I'm gonna have to go back to San Diego to grab an air purifier because that's really, I don't know, the best option. But it's also really weird because it's like it went from 115 degrees or so to 60 degrees and within like a day, and so it's just kind of weird. I'm figuring it out still, but yeah, I thought I would do something really chill. I have this little notebook and it normally has like a big charm here, but I took it off just because it's easier to carry around. It's very decorated. My mom got it in New Mexico and she got this a few years ago, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna use this for. I've been holding on to it. It came in like a bubble wrap type thing, and I kind of wish I would have kept that on because one of the roses kind of got messed up here. But yeah, I just didn't know what I was gonna use it for, and it has really good paper. But I decided that what I would do is start painting, and this was like at the beginning of quarantine. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go get some water for the watercolors, and also I need some coffee, so I'm gonna get that too. And I'll be right back. Okay, so it's crazy because I haven't even lived in this place for a year yet. I think my anniversary will be in November, if I remember correctly. But because of the way that the weather is, it feels like last November. I remember I had a little bit of time off and I was editing a lot for my sister, and I don't know, it just gives me like the same feelings, and I miss that time. So yeah, it's just kind of weird to like be in the same spot for all like, I don't know, I had a lot of moves in the last few years. So I moved 6 times in the last 2 years. So I hadn't really been in any place for an extended period of time. So this is the longest I've been someplace, and it's kind of a weird feeling in a way, but also it's very nice. Like I feel comfortable here, and P has his backyard and everything like that. So anyway, I was figuring I would kind of do just like this paint and chat type of thing. I feel like I get so tense when I am on video, and I think I'm still just getting used to talking to people I don't know and things like that. And I tend to be a very shy person when I'm first meeting people, and then I'm like the craziest person ever. And then on top of it, my roommate doesn't really know that I make videos and things like that. So it's sort of awkward because I'm like trying to be kind of quiet or like find time or be in a quieter space or just like separate myself. But it makes it sort of difficult because I'm not portraying myself. I don't like my hair like this. I'm not portraying myself as the person that I normally am, and so I don't feel like myself in my videos. So I figured we'd just do like a little paint chat, get to chatting and painting. What? I wanted to do LA. I think I'm gonna do the area that I specifically live in, so I'm trying to find a cool, here we go. I don't like that photo. So I have some water and I have some paints and some paint brushes. If you guys have watched, I think I made like one of my first videos that's now on my channel. I painted something for my sister, and I mentioned in that that I studied art, but I did not do painting. So I don't know a whole lot about paint and that type of stuff. I know more about like metal, woodwork. Ceramics was my go-to, but I loved metal and wood as well. So yeah, just I guess bear with me on that because I don't know how to paint very well, obviously, by my paintings. So this is really just for fun and just to get my creative juices flowing. I also wanted to briefly bring up again that I had started a podcast with my friend, and we post every Wednesday. You can find it anywhere, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, things like that. I I think it's interesting because we're such different people, but we get along so well. Like, we're so different, but we're so similar. And just to like, I don't think I did a good explanation. I think I talked about it in my closet video, but I don't think I did a good enough explanation as to like what we were going for. And we're finally finding our footing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about it, but basically my friend and I, he's like the funniest guy ever. And we would talk on the phone all the time. We actually were, we talked on the phone all the time. We don't live in the same city, so that's sort of how we communicate, is just by talking on the phone for like hours and hours on end. And every time he would like say the funniest things. Like, let me explain. Yesterday, he asked me if this was out of the blue, and he said, wait, hold on, where is it? Oh, okay, out of the blue, he said, 2 burgers or 1 burger, 2 patties. And I said, 1 burger, 2 patties, unless it's McDonald's, then 2 burgers, because he knows that's my like go-to order at McDonald's. And he said, it's homemade. Okay, so not the Deuce Boost. And like, I don't know, it was just like so out there. And like, that's just like one tiny example. I wish I had more examples, but if you look at there's some descriptions on the podcast as well, and if you read some of them, they're like super out there, and that's how you can tell that he's the one who wrote them. He has this fascination with anonymity as well, so we keep him very anonymous, and I absolutely love that. I think that it really is a way for him to keep what he likes and wants, and for me to do what I want too, because for so long I've been wanting to make a YouTube channel, and it took a lot out of me to finally do it, because it's hard to start. I mean, I'm being really honest, and I have like 30 subscribers, so it's not like I'm becoming famous overnight either. It's just fun. Like, I get to just sit here and paint. How cool. Like, what? And I'm meeting new people. Like, I talk to people in the comments, and that's a lot of fun. I absolutely love that. I get random messages at like, you know, whatever hour, because people are in different time zones, and it's so cool when I'm like, oh my god, someone's talking about the thing that I did. Yeah, I just find it so fascinating and so much fun. So I love it, and I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel with him, but because he wants to remain anonymous, it's really difficult. And so we finally settled on a podcast. Like, we hadn't even really thought about it, and I think, again, we're finally getting our footing with all that. Oops, sorry, I'm probably shaking the table. I think we're finally getting our footing with all of that, because it's difficult at first to figure out like what works for what person, and you know, you have such different creative styles. But I'm really excited. We're actually going to be filming this morning as well, so I'm waiting for him to wake up, because I did not see his message until this morning. So yeah, but anyway, that's the podcast, and really it's just us continuing these conversations, but with other people. So we just kind of talk about topics that we would talk about on the phone, and it sort of replaces our quote-unquote weekly phone calls. I don't know, but the feedback that I've gotten so far is positive. It's that like, well, positive in my eyes, I should say. Oh my gosh, I'm blurry. How long have I been blurry for? Hello? No, me, not the mirror. Me, thank you. People who have been listening have said that it sounds like they're talking to a friend, which that's exactly what we wanted to go for. So I'm really excited about that, but also I would love some more feedback. So if you guys listen to it, definitely let us know what you think, and you can give us feedback there. You can give me feedback here. We have a Twitter as well. It's the 40-minute limit. Oh, I didn't even say the title of the podcast. It's the 40-minute limit. I would just say, so yeah, just give it a listen, let us know, and I'd really, really appreciate it because we work really hard on it and it's so much fun, and I would love it to become a thing one day. So yeah, that's my thing on that. This is looking so bad. I accidentally made like, it looks like jail. Like what? Okay. Anyway, I have a couple of things that I wanted to update on as well. I know it's like one of those feelings of like, actually, I'm gonna start with this. This is why YouTube was always so hard for me to start, because you question yourself as to who cares. Like, I'm about to talk about things that like, yeah, I'd talk to my friends about as like, hey guys, here's a life update. But when you are posting it just for like the world to see and you have no name for yourself, it's like, who cares? Like, who are you to think that people care? You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird. It's a weird feeling, but I think it's fun. It also, like, at the end of the day helps me reflect on all of these things too. So, and I know I appreciate and love when I see other YouTubers going through things and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can totally relate to that. Or like, especially when you're going through a tough time and then you hear someone else talk about it, it's just like, oh, I'm not the only one going through this. So yeah, anyway, so I'm looking forward to like being more like that with this channel too. So so first thing that I wanted to talk about were, again, I briefly mentioned the fires, and oh my gosh, it's so scary because every single year in San Diego we had fires. It always happened in October. It kind of makes me question what October is going to look like. The fact that here it got to 115 degrees is so insane, because we were looking up the like the highs and the lows in history in Los Angeles, and it's never gotten even, like, it's gotten to like 101, 100 and whatever, 5, but never 115. And it was so scary to think that like we're finally in this stage where that's gonna be a new normal, and it's just scary. Not only that, like I remember when I was younger and I was going to, I want to say I was in like 3rd grade, and that's when like, no, I was younger. It was like 1st or 2nd grade, and I had gone through, it was like the first year that I went through like serious fires, and after that year it was every single year. And so I remember watching the news, and my mom and I, all we wanted was like a full week off, because back then for Thanksgiving you only got Thursday and Friday off. So we never got a week off unless it was Christmas. And so we were always like, oh my gosh, please, we would love a week off. My mom's a school teacher too, so it was like any days she got off, I got off. So that was always really nice. Yeah, so all we wanted was a day off, and there were fires, and the news reporter was like, oh, they've canceled school again, blah, blah, blah. And they kept doing that every single day until it was finally Friday. And we were so excited in a weird way, because we were like, oh my gosh, we finally got the break that we actually wanted, except for it was for the worst reason possible. So we were so torn in that feeling. And I was so young that I was just like not understanding what was happening. But ever since then, I was like, you know, I was hearing about the fires jumping the freeways and all this crazy stuff. And so I grew up around that. We've been evacuated a handful of times. I lived for a little while just outside of San Diego City, and so there the fires were way worse, and so we got evacuated there. So long story short, it's just like not fun. But now some of my family lives in Washington, and the air there has been so bad because of the Portland fires, and it's just so scary. I don't know, I'm nervous. I am living by myself in LA. Like, my family is only in San Diego, but still, it's like, if I had to evacuate, I have to do all these things on my own, and it's just kind of, it's scary now being an adult having to go through these things, rather than like when you were a kid and like feeling like your mom was gonna take care of everything. And like, I don't know, like, I'm sure in a way my mom is a little bit more grateful that I can take care of myself now rather than having to think like, okay, what does my daughter need too? But like, man, I was thinking about it with like all the pandemic stuff going on too, and I was like, if I was like in an elementary school right now, oh my God, I would have no care, because I don't care about my job. I don't care about, I don't have a job. Like, I'm just in 2nd grade trying to go to school, and like, I'm not supposed to go to school? Cool, I get to stay home all day and like watch cartoons? Yes, like absolutely. And of course I would miss my friends, and I'm missing out on a lot still too, but I don't think I would realize that at first. And I know like when I was younger, after like by the end of summer, I always missed school and I was like so ready to go back. I was the kind of person that really loved to learn new things and everything like that. So I'm not one to just like never go back to school. Like even now I'm like, oh my God, I want to go to school, and I like take online classes. And I talked to you guys about like I was taking that marketing class. So yeah, it's just so interesting. So sometimes I miss the comfort of like having my family around, and not just around, but like taking care of things. Because I mean, who doesn't miss some of that? Of course, it's so nice to have freedom, but it was also so nice to just be like, Mom will take care of it. Sorry, Mom. So yeah, that's the fires. I really don't have too much to say about it. It's just so scary, and I hope that people are safe. The air quality again in Washington is getting so bad, and I went to school in Washington, so I still have some friends there, and they've been saying that like the air quality is like over 200, and oh my gosh. There's if you guys don't know the air quality in your area, you should check it out, because last February, well, this last February, so February of 2020, I went on a run, and the air quality was so bad that I got such a bad migraine that I got really sick for 2 weeks. And after that, I realized that it was the air quality that was causing that. And so I decided that I was going to pay more attention to the air quality, and it really makes a difference when you know what's happening to your body. Because I'm, for example, prone to migraines, and so when I walk outside and I get a headache, and then I'm like nervous because there's a pandemic, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, am I getting sick? Like, what's happening? No, it's the air quality, and now I know. So it helps. It helps to know. I would highly recommend that too. I'm not trying to give advice. I'm just trying to talk. Why am I giving advice? Stop it. But I don't know. It helps me a lot. It's scary. I hope that people are safe. I'm scared. I just want everything to go back to normal. Like, ugh, so bad. So bad. So kind of, I have something that's a little off topic, but I'm going to save that for last, I believe. And I'm going to kind of just segue into, also, oh my gosh, I need to talk about this really fast. I just learned that Segway is spelled S-E-G-U-E, and that it's not S-E-G-W-A-Y, and that's a brand, like the little scooter thing. But I didn't know that it looks like Segay, but it's Segway. I had no idea. Okay, anyway, so speaking of like wanting things to go back to normal and all that kind of thing, I don't know if I mentioned, but because of COVID, I was furloughed from my job, and I worked for a very small company, and so I had taken it sort of as being laid off. I did not at all agree with the way that they did it. I thought it was so terrible. They just removed access from everybody and didn't tell us that we were furloughed or laid off or what our status was. And some people were laid off. One person was in the hospital when it happened, and they also removed or took away our health insurance at the exact same time. So he was still in the hospital when he found out that he had no more health insurance. And it's just like so frustrating that they did that, but that's not what I'm talking about here. So I was one of those people that was just like, okay, well, now all I have to do is stay home because I'm not going to work anymore. And when I was working remote too. So I would go into the office every now and then. That's part of the reason why I moved to Los Angeles. But I also primarily worked remotely. So I was trying to find a job, blah, blah, blah. I finally found a job this was the end of my 3rd week. I started on a Tuesday, so it's like a little funky, but about 3 weeks now. And how do I say things? I'm so grateful to have found a job. But it's just also crazy because it seems like everybody's in this struggle, and like the job that I landed is not what I thought it was going to be, and it's just weird. It's just kind of like a very big learning curve, and I'm grateful that I found a job and that they are giving me some time to learn these things. But I also feel this sense of pressure as to like, I feel like I'm being tested, there we go, as to like how quickly I learn. And I think everybody has different learning styles, and so it stresses me out a lot because I feel like I need to be perfect and I feel like I need to already know things. And I've come to a point where I'm like, you know what, like you need to stop stressing, because I stress out a lot. I have really bad anxiety, and instead I need to just take a breather and realize that I need to just do my best. And if my best is not good enough, then it's just not good enough. So that's that. Again, I'm very grateful to have found a job. In some ways, like I mentioned, my last company did some things that I just don't agree with, but in other ways I miss that job so much because I just liked what I was doing and I felt like I had an impact, and I think I'm looking for that again. So I have some ideas as to like what I'd like to do in terms of like other ways that I can help the community and all of that. But I don't know, it's just a weird like transitional phase in my life too, where I'm still trying to like get used to all of this. So yeah, we're figuring it out, we're doing it, we're figuring things out, we're learning, and we're growing, and that's what's important. Why does my hair look like this? Oh my gosh. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm gonna just say I have a bad hair day today. So there. That's worse. Yeah, and so I guess that leads me into the other things that I wanted to talk about. So the like anxiety and stress and things like that. So one of the things that has been really helping me throughout COVID and what else? Life, I don't know, not having a job. Like I've been working since I was 15, since I was legally allowed to work, and so not having a job really did a number on me. Like it was just so hard to not have a job. And so getting me through all of that was my journal, and I owe a lot to that journal. I actually just started a new journal because I ran out of space in my last one, which was a moment for me too, because I realized that I've never finished a journal before. So that was exciting, but journaling has helped so much. And I think people don't really understand what I mean by journaling, and I'm going to say that it's different than just like writing in a diary, because in a diary you're like, I don't know, you're like acting like it's its own entity, where I try to act with my journal like I'm reflecting and I'm talking to myself. And like it's just like when you're talking to yourself in your head, like sometimes for my lunch break, for example, I'll just go to my car and just like lay down and just kind of like think. But instead it's super helpful to just write it all out, because you remember what you're thinking about more, and you're also just not as in your head anymore. And so that's part of the reason why I like it too. So I would highly recommend, if you've never tried journaling, doing that too. And I'm gonna stop making recommendations and things like that, because I already said I'm not giving advice. Yeah, I'm so grateful for my journal. But I also definitely it's not just about journaling, I guess. Like you have to also take action on these things that are happening in your life too, because you can't just sit there and say like, well, nothing's changing. So I often like while I'm reflecting, I also talk to other people about these things and try to figure out like what's driving my anxiety, what I can do, how I can help it all, and all that stuff. And one of the things that I was finding is that there's a few things like my coffee and stuff like that. And so I actually took it upon myself to not drink coffee for a week, and I was going to do 2 weeks, but I'm finding that it's not really helping all that much to not have coffee. The moment I said coffee, I felt like I needed it. I don't know, I have like a small addiction, of course, because I've been drinking coffee for so long. So I don't know, it's like, that sounds scary to say, but at the same time, like, I'm quote unquote comfortable with this addiction because I know that I don't have like this addictive personality. And so what I mean by that is that like when I decided, oh, I'm gonna quit, I just quit. Like I just stopped drinking coffee. And when I came back to drinking coffee, so this is actually my first day, I made half the amount that I would normally make, and already I had cut the amount in half. Sorry, I'm trying so hard to focus. It's funny because on the sign it says coffee, so now I'm trying to write the word coffee when I'm talking about coffee. So part of this whole like reflective process and journaling and trying to improve myself is that you figure out more things about yourself. So I figured out, for example, that the whole part of the coffee process that I missed the most, like I was still just as energetic. I had a little bit of a headache, and that's what I mean by like having an addiction. Oh my gosh, it's been blurry this whole time. I'm so sorry. It's just been blurry. Let me scoot over a little. Moral of the story, the point that I'm trying to get across is that I really like the ritual. Like I love the ritual of drinking coffee. I love having coffee in the morning. I love making myself a latte. It's one of my favorites, an iced latte with no flavoring. I absolutely love. So that was one thing that I realized about myself. And so for now, I'm drinking just like half the amount of coffee that I would normally drink. But also I'm considering doing like decaf or something like that instead. And maybe that will also help. So there's just these like other things that I can do is what I'm trying to get across. And yeah, I don't know. It's a cool reflective process that I am getting through and that I'm learning about. And I just feel like sometimes people hype up a lot of these things, and I don't want to ever hype these things up. Like, I think in like 90% of videos that I watch on YouTube, people, all they can talk about is like, but first I need my coffee. And like, I resonate with that. Yeah, I am so that person. But like, I don't know, like some of these people are so young, and like you'll see high school YouTubers talking about this, and like, I don't think that's very healthy. Like, I don't know. I didn't start drinking coffee personally until I was in my junior year of college, I believe. So it's not like that's necessarily like a different, like, I don't know, like, oh, it's okay because I was in college. Like, that's not what I'm saying. It's just that like I also was never a coffee drinker in high school, and it bums me out to see so many people being okay with this addiction and legitimately being addicted to something like this and not realizing that it can be serious. So yeah, I mean, like, obviously there's correlation with regards to anxiety and coffee, and I know that caffeine within itself can take away headaches, but also it can cause headaches if you have too much. So just get some sleep. Maybe have a cup if you really want to, but like I also would say like don't be dependent on it. Like what I also try to do is not drink coffee until I'm like leaving for work. So like, you know, maybe go on a run, take a shower, get ready, eat breakfast, all this stuff before having coffee, and then I have coffee on my drive and have it at work. And I'm realizing that that's what I enjoy the most. So I don't know, maybe that's another practice that you can do for yourself if that's you. I don't know. I'm just talking about things that I'm trying to improve in myself. So I guess that's why I'm starting to sound a little preachy. So I'm sorry if I do, but I'm not trying to. I just want to like, this is how I would talk to my friend. Like I would just say like, I'm trying this, maybe you should try it too. And then they tell me something. So I think that's the hard part for me, is that you guys can't say anything back right away. So that's why I always ask, please say something in the comments, because it's really nice and I get some feedback. That's really all I had to say. I don't really have a whole lot of life updates. I don't think it's a full video though if I don't show P being crazy. So let's go find him really quick. P! Hi! Whoa! You jumped so high. P, can you sit? Oh, what a good boy. Did you know that I love you? Okay, I'm gonna go get a banjo. Look at him! Oh my gosh. Okay, and then him and the cat do not get along. So my roommate also has a cat named Banjo. Let me show you guys what he looks like. Hello, Mr. Banjo. Really? Uh-huh. I'm gonna close this, okay? Because it's not very nice outside. Hi, Banjo. So Banjo only has one little eye. Hi. Oh my gosh. And he likes to go, my roommate says he's networking, so he likes to go explore outside. So those are the animals. I just like to show them whenever I can, because I feel like it's just not a video unless I've shown the animals. So also, here's the thing I made. This is supposed to be another building, but it just looks like a piece of green. I'm still learning about perspectives, okay? Like, I realized that this sidewalk should have come over this building, and these colors are not right, and I didn't let this dry. Oops. But whatever, you know what? Here's the thing. I had fun, so whatever, right? Like, oh my god, why is it still blurry? Voila, now it's fixed. I don't get it. Whatever, that was annoying. So anyway, yeah, thanks for joining me on this little adventure in painting. I am still obviously, again, learning, but I don't know, I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you guys like this video. Definitely, please, please, please check out the podcast. I think you guys would really like it. If you guys like to watch these videos, then I'm sure you'll like the podcast. And plus, then you can just like listen to it in the car, or listen, I don't know, while you're just chilling in bed. So yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate all the support that people have been giving, and leave a comment about your favorite part, or if anything resonated with you, or if there's something that you would like to see in the future. And I'm gonna go hang out with P. Have a good day and stay safe, please, and try to stay indoors for so many reasons. But all right, bye.